The day that the Prophet ﷺ died, Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, I had one of my friends from the Ansar. He said, I went to him and I said to him, let's go now and let's ask all of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, because they're all here now. All of the companions are back. Because some of the Sahaba, a lot of them went out on futuhat, they went out on conquests and things of that sort. They were kind of spread out. But when the Prophet ﷺ died, they all came back. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, now we can ask all of our questions. Now we can go get everything. The friend of Ibn Abbas, who's also 13 years old, he tells him, look, they don't have time for you. And he said, why don't we play with the pigeons? Because back then they used to play with pigeons. Before the age of Xbox and PS3 or whatever it is, right? They used to play with pigeons. SubhanAllah, that's what young people used to do. Imam Malik rahimahullah got in trouble when he was a kid. His father was mad at him because he used to play with pigeons too much. So he said, why don't we just go play with the pigeons? Why are we going to waste our time going and asking the Sahaba and so on and so forth? So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, taraktuhu. So I just left him. I don't even need you anymore. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says that I would go to the doors of the Sahaba. فَأَضَعُ رِدَائِي وَأَنَامُ عَلَى بَابِي. And I would place my cloak, I'd take off my top garment, I'd spread it at their doorstep, and I'd go to sleep at their doorstep. He said, فَتُسْفِ الرِّيحُ التُّرَابَ عَلَيَّ. And he said the wind would be blowing dirt all over me. You know, I'm sleeping in front of these doors and just dirt is coming all over me. And he said, so these companions, they'd open the door and they'd find Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu sleeping at the door. So they would start to dust him off and they would say, نَحْنُ نَأْتِيكَ يَا ابْنَ عَمِّ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. We would come to you, O cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. Just tell us, we'll come. You don't have to go through that. You don't have to subject yourself to this humiliation or sleep in front of a door. And then Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says something that became a motto for the students of knowledge. He responds and he says, الْعِلْمُ هُوَ الَّذِي يُؤْتَى, or الْعِلْمُ هُوَ الَّذِي يُؤْتَى إِلَيْهِ. Knowledge is sought. Knowledge, لا يأتي. It doesn't come to you, you have to go to it. SubhanAllah, that statement is in every single book that's been written in Islamic history on fadlul ilm wal ulama, on the virtues of knowledge and the people of knowledge. You always find that statement, and it became a motto for the people of knowledge. SubhanAllah, even in the early centuries, it became a memorized statement. Al-ilm huwa alladhi yu'ta. You have to go to knowledge. Knowledge will not come to you. And so Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, obviously, as he goes to all of these companions, SubhanAllah, he honors them even though he is someone to be honored in and of himself. He's a great Sahabi, he's a great companion, he's from the family of the Prophet ﷺ, and he's a person of ilm. But look what he does. Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu anhu, who's not that much older than him. He's about 8 years older than Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He's a young man. The point is, he's not like a Shaykh, right? He's not like this old man. Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu is 21 years old, 22 years old. But Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu sees him coming, and Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he grabs the reins of his horse or his camel and he starts to bring it down, serving him. Right? And Zayd ibn Thabit says to him, لا تفعل, don't do that. Ya ibn Ammi Rasulillah, O cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, you don't have to do that. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, listen to what he responds. He says, هَكَذَا أُمِرْنَا أَن نَفْعَلَ بِكُبَرَائِنَا وَعُلَمَائِنَا. This is how we were commanded to treat our elders and our scholars. He's saying to Zayd ibn Thabit, you are my scholar, you're my shaykh, I have to treat you this way. So Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu anhu says, ارفع إلي يدك, give me your hand. So Zayd ibn Thabit, he takes his hand and he kisses his hand and he says, هَكَذَا أُمِرْنَا أَن نَفْعَلَ بِآلِ بَيْتِ نَبِيِّنَا. This is how we were commanded to treat the family of the Prophet ﷺ. So subhanAllah, there's this exchange of just humility between these very young men. They understand the value of knowledge and the value of humility. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he used to reflect on that. He said, I was humble as a student and that's why I was respected as a teacher. And what happened to that friend of his? Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, when I became famous, he used to walk by and he used to just kind of sit and he used to look at that gathering. Like one person was like serious about school and the other one was like, oh, don't worry about it. And then this guy is like a very successful doctor now, and which is like half of our community, right? And then you've got this other guy that's working at the hospital, but he's like barely making it, and he's just looking at the doctor and he's like, man, what did I do? What did I do with myself? So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that friend, he's just coming, he used to look at that gathering and he used to say, هَذَا الْفَتَى كَانَ أَعْقَلُ مِنِّي. He said, that young man knew better than me. He was smarter than I was.